Hi everyone, and welcome to Hollywood Hills episode number 22. And I really hope you guys are enjoying what's happening at the moment with Hollywood. We're going out there a little bit more. We're getting up close and personal with the riders and the bikes in this gap. And it's kind of become a situation where there's not too much racing going on at the moment. So we're filling in the gaps by going out there to the workshops, and it's actually quite fun for us to go out there and see what happens behind the scenes, not just at the races. So I really hope you guys are enjoying that, and I'd really love some feedback. If you guys want to get hold of us, that's fine. Send us an email. Let us know if you've got a new team or a new workshop or new products that you'd like us to review on the show. Get hold of us. Tag me an email and I'll come down and see what we can do and shine some lights on whatever it is that you've got to promote. With that said though, we did go out there this week and we chatted to another rider. So he's a former GXCC Pro champion. We did speak to him on Live on Lockdown throughout the late part of 2020, and he's a good kid. He's had some problems with injuries, but his pace is right there and he is now climbing to the top of the ladder once again in the GXCC standings as we head into round number 4. This is JC Ninoba and his wagon. Okay, JC, halfway through the season and you're not on a fresh bike, but tell me about the bike you're running and how you've got your setup going at the moment.
Well, currently I'm running a 2021 FX 450, obviously prepped and set up by Bolford Motorcycles here in Boxford. The bike has been pretty great to me. It hasn't broken and it probably won't, because maintenance is always key, and these guys here at Allshot, they do the best job. Otherwise, suspension, if you want to go to suspension, Shock Logic did an amazing setup. I'm running cone valves in the front and a bladder system at the back. The bike tracks, no doubt.
I saw that at the last race. I mean, that was kind of you looked super comfortable that race as well, hey?
I won't lie, I really felt comfortable. The bike was working perfectly, the suspension, the tyres were tracking. I went out. I was a bit nervous. We haven't done a fast race in a while, but I got out there, had the right sprocketing, and I felt good the entire race. Just kept it clean.
Just take us through the bike. I mean, most of you guys nowadays aren't doing too much to the bikes. They come out pretty well set, but what's the JC-ness on this bike? Take us through the cockpit for a start.
Well, the bike's pretty standard, except it's running a full system Acropovic exhaust, and like I said, aftermarket suspension, the cones in the front, and a bladder system at the back. Otherwise, motor is stock standard. Don't play with that. There's always chance of something going wrong. So, stock bike. That's pretty much it. And then we changed to Dunlop tires, the 80/81s, Geomax, and that seems to be working for me.
You run the big tank, and me from the commentary side, the tank and the fueling strategy at GXCC for the last probably 4 years has become key, hey?
Yeah, it's running a 12-litre tank currently. It is a bit bulky and in the way in the tight sections if you want to ride the tight sections, but otherwise it doesn't influence if you on the straights.
You've had a couple of different guys to deal with in the past. One guy's kind of been the stable though, and that's been Dot. Dot's been around for the last couple of years, always for the championship. He's similar to you in the way that he's very consistent.
Yeah, we're always battling out since I've been on the 450, 2018. Everybody out there is competitive currently. There's nobody that you can mislook or think, no, it'll be okay. You gotta give it your all every time you go out, because these guys are gunning for you, and the best man or the fastest man and the most consistent man will always win at the end of the day.
Listen, Pentecost, beginning of last year and this year, if it goes right, geez, he's tough, eh? He's tough to beat.
Yeah, he's a quick guy, definitely, very strong rider. I was chasing in the last race, and the gap was just too big. No, I couldn't drill that man in. But I got to put a better effort on the bike to try and get more riding time in, and hopefully I can catch up.
Go through some of the history of your bikes as well. You've had a go at a couple of different manufacturers, and I remember you on that KTM for a little while, but you've stuck with Husqvarna for a good while now, eh?
Yeah, I rode Yamaha for most of my racing career, about 7 years, and then started to move over to KTM. Rode that since 2016, and then 2018 Allshot picked me up and said, yeah, we want you to ride OR1. And yeah, I've been loving this Husqvarna since day one. The 450 power, everything. I think the bike suits me. Yeah, that power, just open that throttle and goes.
Listen, we've covered the bike and we've covered JC. What about the race itself? Obviously, next week we go round number 4 of the GXCC's Ventersdorp. Haven't raced there in 4 years, but I remember it being a proper cool event.
Yeah, every time you've raced there, it was either very cold or either very warm. What I could remember of the races, always the terrain changes all the time. If you go underneath the road, there's flayland, there's a bit of, hard packed, rocky sections, river crossings that I could remember that was freezing cold. But otherwise, it was always an enjoyable route to race. Always safe, in my opinion. But let's see what happens. Been a while. I think, like you said, 4 years ago.
Listen, last thing, sign off on the bike. You see a lot of people getting on the latest bikes. A couple of 2022s, I think, just arrived here at Holshot as well. But your bike hasn't had that much of a hard life, so you're going to stick with it for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of races like some of the other riders. I also don't do a lot of riding. Quite a busy schedule, unfortunately. So, it's running at about 60 hours now. Yeah, it should manage for the rest of the year. Maybe pick up 2020 early next year.
So that's JC, and we really wish him the best of luck. He is a rider on the fly at the moment. He had a cracking ride at round number 3, and he's going to be looking to try and get his first win of the season. Remember, we are heading into round 4, Ventersdorp. It's a new venue for many riders, but the guys that have been around a little while, it was 4 years back that we actually went racing there, so they should be able to figure things out. Remember, get those entries in, guys. I have had a little bit of feedback from a couple of riders, especially the quaddies, saying how deep and how cold is that river crossing. Well, I don't have that information at the moment, but I know Vian is not a cruel man by nature. He won't get you guys to freeze so badly that it's going to be an uncomfortable situation. So I'm going to be chatting to him, and he'll no doubt be able to do like a little backfill if it is a little bit too deep, but stand by. Believe me, Vian is there to make it a fun experience for you guys. He's not going to make you freeze to death going hip, waist deep or something like that into a river first thing in the morning. But as soon as I get that information, I will be able to feed that back to you. But stand on me. He's a good guy, Vian, and he'll make it a fun lap for you guys. So don't get too worried about the river crossings. They're normally just splash throughs. So stand by for that. With that said, though, do those little things that we know about in the winter and just put those plastic bags in your boots so that you don't get cold and wet feet. Even if it is just a splash through, we know you get a little bit of water on your feet, but it's nothing to worry about, guys. All should be good. But get those entries in, and we'll see you on the line at Ventersdorp. So while we were out there in Boksburg, we went to check in with Shimwells and see what the progress was on the Goon wagon. And check this out. I got there. These guys are going above and beyond. We weren't actually going to do any repairs on the frame. We said it's just too much to get involved in. We've got so much else going on in the bike. But I got there, and Zach and Styler, they had done a repair job on the frame, and they'd gone back to the factory like electric Yamaha blue, absolutely gorgeous. So that's now the base. We went down there and we thought, let's stick the swing arm in, let's throw the suspension parts in from CycleWorks, and those are absolutely mint, so that's going to be gorgeous. That allowed us to put the handlebars on, those ODI handlebars that we got from Ryan Wilkins over at Polysport. So that allows us to get the rolling chassis going. Then we put in the tires and the tubes from Bikers Warehouse. So we actually have what's called a rolling chassis. The next stage that's going to happen off camera, actually, behind the scenes, we're going to be treating the swing arm and treating the wheels because they look a little bit tired and aged. So we're going to pull them back out. We're going to treat those so they look a little bit fresh. They're never going to look awesome, but they're going to look a little bit fresher than they are right now. We're going to put the engine in, we're going to put the wiring in, and we're actually going to put the controls onto the handlebar. So that'll allow us to have a running rolling chassis. And then the next time we go into studio or into the freezing cold workshop down there at Shimwells, we'll be putting on the finishing touches, which will be the Polysport seats and the new seat cover, the new fresh plastics and the decals that we're going to get from Polysport and Vans Racing, as well as Second Skin decals. I'm not sure if the pipe is going to be here, but we are going to put the bike together no matter what, even if we use the old stock pipe, and then we'll be able to put the Scalvini pipe on a little bit later on. Decra are doing those moldings at the moment for us for the engines and the clutch casing covers and transmission covers. So hopefully that's all going to come together quite nicely, but We're going to leave the goon wagon alone for about 2 weeks for the guys at Shimwas to do the nitty-gritty parts of it. And when we come back, we'll clip on the final stages, and that should be us good to go. Remember, we're committed to getting this thing up and rolling, ready for Farm Jam round number 3, that is on the 3rd of July. That is our timeline, that is our marker, and that's what we're heading towards. But for now, guys, I just wish you all the best of luck in your prep, getting ready for GXCC round number 4 at Ventersdorp. The crew will be there. Unfortunately, I have another commitment, so I apologize. It's my last clash of the year, guys. I'm with you for the rest of the season, but I've just got to get this last one out the way. It's a big one for me as well. It's the Desert 1000 down in Uppington, so I'm going to be there. The crew will be there, as always, filming you guys, making you famous, and we're putting together some amazing edits once again from the guys at LiveX. So we will see you on the line, even if it's digitally. We'll see you on the line, and hang cable, guys. Make me proud. Laters.